outside of Felicity, who's now back in third. Intensify and Rupert's Promise. Then comes Elusive Melody, and Zenyatta is closing nicely in the center of the track. Caramel Coffee has the lead, but you better take a look at Zenyatta to run by and do it nicely. Caramel Coffee left in second. Zenyatta.
Hello, it's Bob Pandolfo on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 with Power Pace with Pandy and another version of Morning Maidens, another edition of Morning Maidens, I guess I should say. Yesterday's horse, I only had one maiden race that looked interesting to me yesterday. Horse won easily, paid $280. With the first time starter scratch, the horse I put second, that really killed the price. Interesting though how that filly had gone to the lead in 3 straight races, and this time a couple of horses hustled out and outbroke her, so she had to sit, just off the pace, but she won easily anyway. So it just goes to show you how much class factors into these races. That filly was dropping into a maiden claiming race, and with a slower pace against the weaker horses, she completely changed her style of racing and still won easily. Be interesting to see how she does moving forward. I'm going to have a video coming up maybe later this week where I'll talk about how horses sometimes, there's that light bulb moment where they get that first win, a lot of times dropping in for a tag. And, a lot of those horses that struggle to break their maiden actually end up being good racehorses. It's really amazing. And then they start running much better speed figures. So it's just a matter of figuring it out sometimes, I guess, and then maybe getting the taste of winning. It's really interesting a little bit. When I was researching for my systems and books that I wrote, and just doing general research on handicapping horses and trying to pick winners, I've noticed so many horses. I mean, hundreds of horses, maybe even thousands, but probably easily hundreds of horses, like good race horses. Not necessarily stakes winners, but good race horses who have a good career. They finish in the money a lot. They get their share of wins. They earn good money for their owners. And a lot of those horses, struggled early in their career. They were running terrible. And then all of a sudden, they get a win and they just start to figure it out, put it together. And then a lot of times they run much better speed figures. So they improve by like 20 points, after they get a win. It's very interesting, and I'll have a video on that. So anyway, let's go to today's races. I have a few races at Presque Isle Downs. And I threw a race in here, the first race that's not a maiden race, in case anybody is interested in playing a double. The 6 horse looks pretty tough in that first race. It's a very weak field. It's basically the only horse that's ever shown anything. The 2's okay. But we're going to go to this race, the second race. So on Formula Pro, sorting on pace, it's a 5.5 furlong race on the poly track. Well, it says poly here. It's actually the Tapeta synthetic track. So 7 horses, is ranked first in several categories and the pace, and that is the horse to catch. The horse I picked is ranked first on class jockey trainer, and that is last post. So let's take a look. Again, the 7 horse is going to be the horse to catch, but this horse last post, now he's raced on synthetic twice, both times at Gulfstream Park. Now the first time you could see was in a $70,000 purse, which is much higher than what he's racing for today. And you could see the pace was 44 2 to the half, and this horse was pressing the pace and just started to weaken around that time. Then they dropped him in for a tag, and they went 2 turns on the synthetic track again. It was a off the turf race, but that meant that it was on the synthetic. And this horse set the pace, pretty good pace. See a 91st pace figure for the first fraction, and then an 88. You see +8, +10 here, which means that it was on the quick side. Only lost by 5 lengths going 2 turns for the first time, and then they went on turf and he flashed speed and he tired, but his synthetic races were better. Now he gets back on synthetic, offer a little bit of a freshening. He has 5 works since last, changing barns, picking up an aggressive rider, Pablo Morales, who does well here. And as you can see, 27% trainer, first start with trainer. And dropping into the bottom here, cutting back to a sprint, going on to synthetic. So I think this horse is probably going to run well today and has a good chance to catch the 7 horse, who is dropping back into a claimer. He finished second in a similar spot here, 2 starts back. So then let's go to the 4th race. And did I pass it? Here it is. All right, this might be an interesting race. Now, on power pace, the 3 horse Most Divine, that's the horse I put on top. They made the horse second choice, but I think the horse will go off the favorite. Now, you can see here that ranking on speed has a 71, which is 5 points better than the next horse. That's a pretty significant advantage. Now, he doesn't have, I should say she doesn't have as good elite pace figures on power pace, but I'll show you something here. This shows you how the horse was ranked, which races. You see these 2 R's here? That means that the power pace averages 2 lines. Formula Pro uses 3. That means that it averaged 2 route races, right? Whereas you see the horses that are ranked second and third, they were sprint races because they haven't been running long. They've been running in sprints. So on the horses who ran in routes, ran 2 turns, she has a 71, and the next horse that ran in longer races has a 61. So she has a 10-point advantage in speed figures. So, and these late pace figures are a little bit exaggerated because these horses were closing in sprints. You don't know if they're going to be able to close as well in going 2 turns. But Most Divine, kind of an obvious horse here, raced here once for this hot trainer Mark Hoffman, who has 3 wins and 10 starts and also has 2 seconds. And now this particular race, it looks like the horse didn't do anything, right? He just kind of ran evenly, and he finished last in a 5-horse field. But this race went in 138, and the last quarter was fast. You see the pace was pretty, slow. In fact, here you see a -9 and -7. But they came home fast because of the slow pace. The horse on top had a lot left. You could see that the horse that finished second came back to win. This dropping down into $15,000 claim, and this race could go like a second and a half or 2 seconds slower. You can see that this race here in a $15,000 claim went 139 and 4. All right, this is 138. So these were, this was significantly better horses. Now the horse only has 1 start on a synthetic track, but it looks like a good spot. On speed figures, the horse just, she just lays over these. Her buyer figure is like 16 points. Now these are brisk figures here, but her buyer figure is 16 points over like the next highest last race figure. So that's kind of an obvious horse that looks like, pretty good. Now the reason why I put this race out here today was because I think the 2 horse, Ellie Moray, might have a chance at a big price. It's a bit of a reach, but she's only raced for a tag. She's never really done anything. I mean, let's not exaggerate her too much. She's never really fired. In her first start, though, she did come on. Now you can see she gained 12 lengths, almost 12 lengths in her first start. She broke slow. It looked like she had, a little bit of a, she had some ability there, going 5 furlongs on turf after a slow start. But then she never came home as well after that. So then she changes trainers last time, and she's off a layoff, as you can see, off like about a 10-month layoff. She runs a mile. She's only a length and a half behind at the pace call. Brisk has this plus 15 and plus 11, so they have this, as you can see right here, as a quick pace. I don't think it was that quick. Prescal Downs is actually a pretty fast track, but still, they do have a plus 15 and plus 11 for that day. And she faded, but she's off a 10-month layoff. That's not really that surprising. The thing is, we don't really know if this filly can run. I mean, she only had this one race where she ran a little bit. But if she's going to run, if she's going to, this is the day where maybe we'll see something. It's her second start off a layoff. They're adding blinkers for the first time and switching to a 10-pound apprentice, so she's going to drop 10 pounds from 124 to 114. The trainer shows 29% second off a layoff, although it's only, with 7 races. Well, second start with trainer, 29%. Second off a layoff, 0 for 13. But there is an improved workout here. Now, she only had 4 workouts coming into her return race, and then she shows the best workout of her recent workouts, a 59-4 breeze, which was probably in blinkers. So I don't know. It's just one of those horses that looks to me that could be live at a big price. This is the day, like I said, we'll find out if this filly has anything, because it's her second start at the bottom, second start over the track, second start off a layoff, first time in blinkers, and then dropping the 10 pounds. So I put her second. And the 4-horse Smooching is another horse who has a lot to prove, shipping in for Graham Motion. Graham Motion is, an outstanding horseman. He ran this filly, ships her in here, drops her to the bottom. They paid $110,000 for her. They had blinkers. I don't know if she can run. We'll find out today. He's got Pablo Morales, the hot rider. But Most Divine probably going to be tough to beat. Ellie Marie might have a chance at a big price. We'll see. But that's it for today. Do me a favor. I'd appreciate it if you like my video and subscribe. It's free. That makes it possible for me to keep putting out these videos. And Morning Maidens so far are doing pretty good. And it's interesting. I love maiden races. These are weak maiden races today. As the summer progresses, I'll be talking about a lot of well-bred horses, as we get into, Saratoga and Del Mar. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and lots of luck.